Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Awesome. Today we're digging into some seriously cool research on robots that learn.
Oh, yeah. This is cutting edge stuff.
It really is. We're
Ah,
talking about robot foundation models.
The kind of stuff that makes you rethink what robots can actually do.
Exactly. And we've
Ah.
got a ton of material to go through from physical intelligence.
Research papers, blog posts, the whole
So
shebang.
buckle up because this is going to be a wild ride.
I'm ready when you are.
All right, let's jump right in.
So one of the biggest things that this research tackles is a problem that's been plaguing robotics for ages.
Yeah, what's that?
The sheer amount of time and effort it takes to train robots for even the simplest tasks.
Well, I can imagine. Trying to program a robot to do something new every time must be a nightmare.
It is. It's like having to rewrite the entire instruction manual every time you want the robot to grab a different object.
Oof, that sounds tedious.
Very tedious, which is why this research is so groundbreaking.
So how does physical intelligence's approach change things? So they keep mentioning this zero thing, pi zero. What is that exactly?
Ah, yes. This is the heart of their research. It's a new robot foundation model, and that foundation part is key.
Foundation. What do you mean by that?
Well, think of it this way. Instead of programming a robot with very specific instructions for every single task,
Right.
what if you could give it a base understanding of the world? Like how to interact with objects, how to move around, how to understand basic commands. That's what Zero aims to do.
So it's like giving the robot a basic education before you start teaching it specific skills.
Exactly. It's designed to be generalist, able to learn and perform a wide range of tasks, not just be a one-trick pony.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture. But how does it actually work? Their paper mentions a vision language model. Does that mean it can actually see and understand what we're saying?
You got it. It's kind of like giving the robot eyes and ears. It can perceive the world visually and also process and understand language.
So you're saying it can see a coffee cup and understand when I ask it to grab the cup.
Precisely. Pretty amazing, right?
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. But seeing and understanding is one thing. How does it actually translate that into movement? There's got to be some seriously complex stuff going on under the hood.
You're definitely right about that. And this is where things get even more interesting. On top of the vision language model, they've built what they call an action expert.
An action expert, what's that?
Well, you know how those AI art generators you see online can start with random noise and then gradually refine it into a coherent image?
Yeah, I've seen those. They're pretty cool.
Well, the action expert uses a similar principle, but instead of creating images, it creates actions.
Whoa. So it's like turning random movements into smooth, purposeful actions.
Exactly. They call it flow matching. It allows the robot to generate fluid and continuous movements that look way more natural than the jerky motions you see with a lot of robots.
Okay, that makes sense. So flow matching is what makes the robot movements in their demo videos look so smooth and lifelike.
You got it. It's a big step forward in creating robots that can move with more dexterity and precision.
And the craziest part is they trained this model on over 10,000 hours of robot data.
Yeah, that's a lot of data.
10,000 hours.
Yeah,
That's like having a robot working nonstop for over a year. Where on earth did they get all that data from?
well, they used a really clever combination of sources. First, they collected data from 7 different robot configurations. Yep, each one tackling 68 unique tasks. So we're talking about a massive variety of movements and actions.
Wow, so they basically had these robots doing everything but the dishes.
Pretty much. They even had them folding laundry, which is something I'm sure we'd all love a robot to do for us.
Hold on, robots folding laundry. That's like the holy grail of household chores.
Hmm.
I need to see video of this.
Well, they've got videos. You'll have to check them out later. But to make the model even more robust, they didn't just use their own data.
Oh, really? What else did they use?
They also incorporated existing open source robot data. So essentially, they're leveraging the collective knowledge of the entire robotics community.
So it's like this global robot brain that's constantly learning and evolving.
That's a great way to put it.
That's both amazing and a little bit intimidating. But enough about the training. Let's get to the good stuff. What can this thing actually do?
Okay, so here's where it gets really exciting. Straight out of the box, with no task-specific training, Zero can already perform a bunch of tasks using just simple language prompts,
No way. Like what?
like clearing a table, retrieving objects from drawers, even getting toast from a toaster.
You're telling me I could tell a robot to grab me a snack and it would actually understand and do it?
You got it.
I'm skeptical, but incredibly intrigued. What else can it handle?
It's not just snacks. It can fold shirts, too.
Folding a shirt. That's got to be way more complex than grabbing a snack.
Yeah. It requires a lot of dexterity and understanding of like fabric and shapes. It's pretty impressive.
How does it even do that? I'm trying to picture a robot folding my laundry and my brain just short circuits.
Well, remember those transformers we talked about earlier?
Can you refresh my memory?
They're basically like a super fast index for all the information the robot has learned. Imagine a giant instruction manual filled with everything the robot knows about the world and how to do stuff.
That cat falling?
Transformers help the robot quickly find the exact instructions it needs for a specific task, even if those instructions are buried deep within that massive data set.
So it's not just mindlessly repeating actions. It's actually understanding what needs to be done based on the situation.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. It's not just mimicking, it's
Right.
learning and adapting.
Okay, color me impressed. But does it just stop at those pre-trained skills? Or can it learn new things too?
Oh, it can definitely learn new things, and that's what makes it even more exciting.
So what kind of new things can it learn?
They've shown that it can learn entirely new tasks with just a few hours of additional training.
A few hours, that's it, yeah.
Compared to traditional robot training methods that could take days or even weeks, this is lightning fast.
Wow, that's a game changer. So what kind of new tricks did they teach it?
Well, for example, they taught it to stack bowls, put Tupperware in the microwave, and even replace paper towels on the holder.
Okay, now that's just showing off. But seriously, that's incredible. So it's not limited to what it learned from that initial 10,000-hour data set. It can actually keep learning and expanding its repertoire.
Exactly. And the speed at which it learns is what's really groundbreaking. It opens up a world of possibilities for what robots can do in the future.
It's like it's grasped the fundamental building blocks of learning and action. And now it can just keep building on that knowledge.
That's a great way to put it.
But I gotta ask, developing this model couldn't have been easy. What were some of the challenges they faced?
Oh, yeah. There were definitely some hurdles. One of the biggest ones was figuring out how to combine all those different data sources. Remember, they used data from 7 different robot types.
Yeah, and they also incorporated open source data, right?
Right. So making all that data work together seamlessly was no small feat. They had to develop some pretty sophisticated algorithms to make sure the model could actually learn from this diverse and sometimes messy data.
So it's not just about throwing a ton of data at the problem. You have to carefully curate and structure it so the model can actually learn from it.
Exactly. Garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And what about the robot movements? Getting them to look so smooth and natural must have been a challenge too.
Yeah, flow matching is powerful, but it requires a lot of fine-tuning and optimization. You don't want the robot's actions to look jerky or unrealistic.
So it's a balancing act.
Yeah.
You need the model to be powerful enough to learn complex tasks, but also refined enough to produce movements that are both effective and visually convincing.
Precisely. It's like teaching a dancer to perform a complex routine. It's not just about getting the steps right. It's about the grace, the timing, the fluidity of movement that makes it truly captivating.
Okay, you've officially convinced me that this is groundbreaking research. But let's zoom out for a second and talk about the bigger picture. What are the real-world implications of this technology? How could robot foundation models like Poro actually change our lives?
Ooh, that's the exciting part. The possibilities are truly vast. Think about robots assisting surgeons with complex procedures.
That'd be incredible. More precision, faster recovery times.
Exactly. Or imagine robots working in disaster zones, rescuing people from dangerous situations or exploring hazardous environments, like deep-sea trenches or even other planets.
Okay, now those are some seriously high-stakes applications. But what about everyday life? How could this technology impact our homes, our workplaces, the way we interact with the world around us?
Well, one area that really excites me is elder care. Imagine robot companions providing assistance with daily tasks, companionship, and even personalized healthcare monitoring.
Oh, wow. So not just doing chores, but actually providing care and companionship for those who need it most.
Exactly. It could be life-changing for so many families and could really improve the quality of life for seniors, allowing them to age in place with dignity and independence.
That's a really beautiful thought.
Yeah.
Robots not just as tools, but as companions and caregivers.
It's a whole new way of thinking about what robots can be. And let's not forget about education. Robot tutors could provide personalized instruction, adapting to each student's individual learning style and pace.
Personalized robot tutors. That sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It does, but think about how beneficial that could be, especially for students who struggle in traditional classroom settings.
You're right. That could be a game changer for education. It's like having a personal tutor available to every student 24/7.
Exactly, and it goes beyond just education. Imagine robots assisting with tasks in manufacturing, agriculture, construction, any field where human labor is currently required.
So you're talking about robots working alongside humans, not replacing them.
Precisely, augmenting our capabilities, allowing us to achieve more than ever before.
That's a much more optimistic outlook than the whole robots are going to take our jobs narrative.
Yeah, it's not about replacement. It's about collaboration and creating new opportunities.
It's like the invention of the internet. No one could have predicted all the ways it would transform our lives and create entirely new industries.
That's a great analogy. And just like the internet, robot foundation models have the potential to connect us in new ways, break down barriers, and create a more interconnected and collaborative world.
It's both exciting and a little bit daunting to think about all the possibilities.
It certainly is. But it's important to approach this with a sense of optimism and responsibility. We need to make sure these technologies are developed and deployed in a way that benefits all of humanity.
So as we start to wrap up this deep dive, what are some key takeaways for our listeners to ponder?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the field of robotics is advancing at an incredible pace. We're on the cusp of a new era where robots are no longer just tools, but partners, collaborators, and even companions.
It's a huge shift in perspective.
Yeah.
From robots as machines to robots as intelligent agents that can learn, adapt, and interact with the world in increasingly sophisticated ways.
Exactly. And the second takeaway is that this technology has the potential to transform countless aspects of our lives, from healthcare and education to work and leisure.
The possibilities are truly endless, and it's up to us to shape the future we want to create with these powerful tools.
Well said. And I think that's a perfect note to end on. The world of robot foundation models is full of wonder, possibility, and even a touch of awe. It's a journey of exploration that's just beginning, and I, for one, can't wait to see where it leads us.
So we talked about what robot foundation models are and how they work.
Right. The nuts and bolts of it all.
But now I'm curious about the bigger picture. Like, so what?
But so what? Exactly.
Yeah, it's cool that robots can fold laundry and grab snacks.
Sure.
But how does this actually change the world?
That's the question that gets me fired up. The potential applications are just mind-blowing.
Really, give me some examples that'll make my jaw drop.
Okay, so we've talked about the obvious stuff like household chores, elder care, education.
Right.
But imagine robots working alongside humans in all sorts of fields.
Got it, what?
Construction workers collaborating with robots that can handle heavy lifting and precise placement. Farmers using robots to monitor crops, identify pests, optimize irrigation. Even artists working with robots to create completely new forms of art.
Whoa, wait. Artists and robots working together? That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right? But the potential is there. Think about it. These robots are learning to understand the world in ways we never thought possible.
Yeah, they're processing information, adapting to new situations, even coming up with solutions to problems.
Exactly. So who's to say that spark of creativity couldn't emerge?
It's like we're blurring the lines between human intelligence and artificial intelligence.
I think we are. If a robot can learn to paint a picture or compose music, what does that even mean for our understanding of creativity?
Now, that's a question for the philosophers.
Definitely. But for now, I think we should focus on the positive potential of this technology.
Okay, I like that. Focus on the good.
Yeah. We have this incredible opportunity to create a future where robots and humans work together, each complementing the other's strengths.
So like a true partnership.
Exactly. Imagine robots handling the dangerous, repetitive, or physically demanding tasks.
Leaving humans free to focus on more creative and fulfilling work.
Exactly. Things like problem-solving, innovation, building relationships.
It's almost like we're talking about a paradigm shift in the way we think about work.
I think we are. Instead of seeing robots as a threat, we can embrace them as partners that can help us achieve more.
I like that partners, not replacements.
And that's why it's so important to have these conversations now while this technology is still in its early stages.
So we can shape the future responsibly.
Exactly. We need to be thinking about the ethical implications, the societal impact. How can we ensure that this technology benefits all of humanity?
Those are some big questions.
They are. But they're questions we need to be asking.
Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are some key things you want our listeners to take away from this conversation?
I'd say first and foremost, the field of robotics is advancing at an incredible pace. We're on the brink of a new era where robots are no longer just tools, but partners, collaborators, even companions.
It's a whole new way of thinking about robots.
It is. And second, this technology has the potential to transform countless aspects of our lives, from healthcare and education to work and leisure. The possibilities are truly endless.
And ultimately, it's up to us to decide how we want to use this technology to shape the future.
Well said. The future is in our hands.
That's a powerful message. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this incredible deep dive.
Agreed.
We've explored the cutting edge of robotics, delved into the mind-blowing potential of robot foundation models, and even pondered the philosophical implications of artificial creativity.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of robots that learn.
My pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep imagining the possibilities.
And remember, the future is ours to create.